Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
From Gold Telegraph, Federal Reserve Powell, possible to have more than one reserve currency. What? History is playing out in front of our eyes, or all our eyes right now. Right, again, history's playing out as we speak, guys. All this will be in the history books, right? How Ripple defeated the SEC and then it became the standard, or XRP did, right? But listen here, multiple reserve currencies, right? If you go down here, do we see the connections that's playing out? Listen to this right here, guys, from Ripple themselves. We don't make these things up. Ripple insights. More importantly, we remain more committed than ever to the simple goal of making XRP the world's reserve digital currency. Again, look at this. World's reserve digital currency. Remember where the world is heading to, right? The digital era. Again, it's absolutely mind-boggling how all this is. It's even more insane how this is coming out right now. The timing of it, right? The timing of all of this. Remember the events that's taking place. As soon as one domino falls, all of the other dominoes fall even quicker, right? Again, if you go down here, more connections. The Federal Reserve Board is seeking comment on a plan to introduce a system for evaluating whether to grant access to its accounts and payment services, right? If you go here, with technology driving rapid change in the payments landscape, right? Innovate payment system. Wow, again, all the proof is in the pudding, guys. Look at that. They want to change the current financial system, right, into a new one, a better one, a more innovative one, guys. It's all here. What will that be? What will that be? Remember, XRP, the heart of the new financial system. We have said this multiple times.
Well, so when XRP was created, this actually was created before Ripple existed. The creators of XRP decided to be 100 billion units because they saw it as rather than having a smaller number with a very high price, they saw it as something, they wanted to be effectively a global reserve currency. There will be more than 100 billion XRP. All the XRP that have ever been created have been created.
Now, we don't make these things up because the Federal Reserve Task Force literally commented on Ripple. We're going to be talking that in a little bit, but before we do, Taylor Sweetout, first time in US history, Federal Reserve publicly states we can have multiple reserve currencies. 3 years ago, you all said that is impossible. World's digital reserve currency coming soon. Again, listen very carefully and closely because, guys, do we hear the liquidity, the tide incoming, right? Listen very carefully.
Any short-term effect of that over time, though, you know, it would, I suppose, it would diminish our status as the reserve currency. It's also possible to have more than one large reserve currency, and there have been times when that was the case, and so it's not really clear.
Again, guys, this is absolutely insane. And the crazy part is, it's coming out in 2022, right? Didn't happen last year. I mean, all of these things are happening right now. Now, let's be sweet out. Just so everyone knows, the Federal Reserve Faster Payments Task Force gives Ripple vote of confidence for next generation of global payments, right? We don't make these things up, guys. Just remember that. I'm on the train. Are you? Again, this is absolutely insane because all the connections are here. Ripple tells you in plain sight. Federal Reserve Task Force commented Ripple improved speed and transparency of global payments back in 2017. And what comes out today? There we go, guys. There we go. Again, guys, XRP, this is, for me, it's guaranteed, but obviously not financial advice. XRP will be at a very high price. It needs to be for it to efficiently work. As David Schwartz literally stated, digital liquid gold. Okay. Today, after 2 years of work, the Federal Reserve released its Faster Payments Task Force's action plan for bringing faster payments to the United States. Again, the US, right? People think the US will lose, but will they? Think about it. Highlighting Ripple's ability to underpin the next generation of cross-border payments. There we go. Set up in 2015 after the Fed recognized the need to spur improvements in payments, the task force brought together a diverse group of 320 stakeholders, including banks, regulators, and end users and technology companies, right, to create a roadmap for modernizing the United States payments infrastructure. Again, it's all about this, guys. Remember, the plans were literally in motion, set in motion decades ago, right? If you go down here, Ripple played a leading role in establishing this future vision for payments. Early in the process, I was elected to serve on the steering committee to represent tech companies and provide expertise on emerging technology and blockchain. Ripple stands out for speed and transparency of payments. Guys, we don't make these things up. Ripple puts forth the interledger-based solution that enables improved messaging and tracking for real-time payments, standing out as the only proposal focused on solving today's friction with cross-border payments, right? Again, look at this, guys. We do not make these things up. Ripple enables financial institutions the ability to operate cross-border payments faster than the 2 to 4 days common today. It's basically XRP Ripple has come into play for the heart of the US, guys, and the world, to say the least, right? Now, coining a tweet out, Brad Garlinghouse at Fox talking Ripple vs SEC from Attorney Jeremy. I was meeting with Chairman Clayton. I met with SEC commissioners. No one ever once said XRP is a security. End quote from Brad Garlinghouse himself. That's pretty powerful testimony. No? Again, listen very carefully because, guys, it's happening, right? Brad Garlinghouse back on the news. Let's see what he states right here. Listen very carefully. Go ahead and grab your popcorn.
Appropriate activity.
Listen, it's the same with the US dollar. Appropriate activity, inappropriate activity. Joining us now on the set, CEO of leading enterprise blockchain company Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Yes, of course, Ripple, related to XRP. Brad would know a thing or two about this along with Charlie Gasparino.
I know nothing. He knows everything.
I know nothing. What do you make of what Powell said? He kind of gave it to both sides.
What did he say, though? Did he say anything?
It's not entirely clear. But I do want to start by just saying that I and the team at Ripple feel so strongly about standing with the people of Ukraine, and I just want to put that out there. But my comment as I listen to some of the things I hear out of Washington is just I fear that there's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of information about how crypto really works. And I think it does a disservice to responsible actors like Ripple who are working with governments, with sanctions. Everything that is enforced from a sanction point of view through fiat currency, anything that Ripple does is enforced in the exact same way. So there's no different level playing field. And I think in some ways I heard Senator Warren saying things yesterday that felt like it's holding crypto to a different standard and expecting, for example, a blanket ban of all crypto in some of these countries in a way that, like, well, you can still use PayPal, you can still use these, some of these other things, and I don't think we should treat them differently.
Ripple is like Swift, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, Ripple's starting point, kind of our first use case for the technology, the blockchain technology, and the digital asset XRP was to solve that cross-border payments problem.
Right.
Swift is quite antiquated, kind of designed 50 years ago. It's slow, it's expensive, but it is a choke point that the government's used to enforce sanctions. My point is, nothing that Ripple is doing circumvents any of that.
So you're following the sanctions exactly? Like, for example, it's like with 8 banks and a couple can still trade through it theoretically?
Correct. The sanctions are applied through what I'll call the choke points, the on-ramps and off-ramps. That's true for Swift, that's true for Ripple. Regardless of what I'll call just the plumbing of how things are moving, the choke points are the endpoints. So I think, when I step back and look at this, I think there's a lack of knowledge. I think people need to understand that crypto isn't this kind of black box. It's kind of back from when it was known as Silk Road. The industry has come a long way.
So an oligarch, or let's just say Vladimir Putin, couldn't finance tanks through Bitcoin.
Look, one of the things that people don't realize is there's just not enough liquidity.
Yeah.
Russia used to trade pre-sanctions $50 billion of cross-border transactions per day. Crypto does not have anywhere near that. So, look, in the same way that somebody could be taking wheelbarrows of rubles or the Ukrainian currency across to Poland and things, like, there are ways you could do that, but it's really not significantly dissimilar.
Why are they so obsessed with it? It's like so weird.
I think it's kind of clickbait. It's a hot item. I think people, it adds a relevance and excitement around some of these things, but I think people don't understand.
Well, we had spoken to Gary Gensler of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I know you saw that interview because we were emailing afterward about it, but he specifically tried to say that he wants to very much focus on what's a security and what is an actual token, a cryptocurrency. I feel like if that's the case and he's holding you to that standard, at some point he's going to have to go after Ether as well, because Ether and Ethereum are those two very similar paths, just like XRP and Ripple, are they not?
Look, I think that's absolutely true. I don't want to comment on what they should or shouldn't do. I think as it relates to Ethereum, my view is it's very clear Ethereum's a currency. It's very clear XRP is a currency, and the SEC. I mean, he was interviewed yesterday. Gary Gensler was, or maybe it was even this morning, and commented that, hey, we're going to lose some cases. This is the definition of regulation by enforcement.
You think he was saying he's going to lose your case?
I don't know what he was saying. I think but he did say, hey, we're going to lose some, and we're okay with that. That's the definition.
Where are you on the case? Let's get an update.
The quick update: on Monday was the last day of expert testimony, expert depositions, etc. And so the case continues to move forward. We're expecting some decisions from the court, sooner rather than later, as it relates to a couple decisions before the court. But look, it's moved slowly. I think Gary Gensler has continued to kind of go with the narrative that crypto is the Wild West. It's not the Wild West. Are there bad actors? Yes, there's bad actors in all parts
Well,
of.
bad actors in money laundering in U.S. dollars.
I found it fascinating from reading the documents for all the stuff they said about how bad it was that you did an unregistered securities. They never said anything bad about your platform. Why is that? I mean,
Well, the irony there is, like, we were in the SEC's offices. I met with Chairman Clayton. I was meeting with commissioners. No one ever once said, "Hey, we think XRP is a security."
Yeah.
They look backwards and say, "Now we think it's all security." That's a hard argument.
Please come back. Brad Garlinghouse.
There we go. Again, guys, all the proof is right there. It's game over for the SEC, number one, right? Number two, XRP becomes the heart of the new financial system from Jack the Rippler. Know what you hold. Again, literally, guys, invest. I mean, basically, go ahead and research about XRP, Ripple, because have the knowledge of what you are investing into, right? XRP Ledger, the heart of everything, guys. We know the end game. We know the plans.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.